I'm
Victoria.
so ready to just, like, not.
Welcome back to the newest episode of Do You Accept This Rose? We have a crazy episode because it was hometowns.
Yeah,
last
hometowns
night.
are huge, yeah.
That was my first experience watching a hometowns
Aren't
Bachelor.
they super awkward?
It's awful.
And it's funny, too, because they're like, okay, we're going to eat dinner together. And then they just, like, get up and leave and, like, have small things. So it's kind of weird, but whatever. You get used to it as time goes on.
Yeah.
So we started out in Knoxville.
That's Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought.
For some reason, I thought she was from Alabama, too, but maybe not.
So that's for Hannah Ann.
Yeah, so
Knoxville.
Hannah Ann had, like, a pretty run-of-the-mill hometown, I guess. Like, they go and they do axe throwing because I guess her dad works with trees, so she was like, I want you to be able to relate with him. So we're going to do some axe throwing, which I think is super unsafe because I always get really nervous. It's going to, like, bounce back at the person.
She was really good at it. And his did bounce. Like, when it showed it,
Yeah,
it came, like,
creepy.
flying back.
But the one main thing to note on, like, the first part of this hometown date is, like, so last week Hannah Ann wrote him a letter of, like, things I like about, or things I love about you. So this week, like, he wrote her a letter of, like, things I love about you. And it's just, like, cringe.
Yeah, I guess it was cute that he, like, reciprocated it.
Yeah, and, like, was confirming that he also had those feelings without actually, like, fully coming out and saying, like, I love you.
Her sister says, like, you know, if he's willing to write a whole list about things he loves about you, he probably does love you.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
So,
is
like,
true.
super cute. And then they end up going back to her house to meet her family. Her dad was, like, very questionable of
It was
things.
awesome. You could tell that the dad was not into it
Yeah.
at all.
And it's like the parents aren't signing up for the show either, so that's kind of awkward too. Her dad is essentially like, I know my daughter. Like, do not say you love her unless you actually love her.
And Peter's like, okay, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
And then he does. Literally, pan to 1 minute later, he's like, Hannah Ann, I'm falling in love with you. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, Peter. Another funny thing I thought was, like, when Hannah Ann's sister is moved to tears, when they walked in, she could tell they were meant to be together. I'm super confused. You have a sister, so I guess it's different. Would you ever, like, cry?
If she walked in with her boyfriend.
And she just looked in love? I would not break out into tears. I'd be like, okay, that's cool. I'm really happy for you.
We don't even know him yet.
You literally haven't spoken one word to him.
He's with other girls. What are the families really supposed
Isn't
to
it
think?
awkward too? Because it's like the parents are like, so are you gonna, like, pick my daughter? And, like, I forget whose dad it was like, so if you had to choose right now, like, would my daughter?
I think that was Madison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, he's like, well, I can't say that right now. It's just, like, super awkward.
Yeah.
Because it's like the parents know what's happening, and they're trying to, like, protect their kids from it, but weird.
And he's just like, what I can tell you now is I'm excited. Great. After he says, I'm starting to fall in love with you, she says, I love you, because before she was just starting to.
Yeah.
And then he's like, say it again. And
Ew.
gross.
Yeah, don't love it. Don't love it. Seemed to go fine.
Yeah, successful. Probably the most normal of all the ones that
it
happened.
seemed pretty normal.
You sent an article last week of Bachelor secrets, and one of them was that it's usually never their actual house.
Yeah.
It's like a wealthier relative's house.
Yeah, because a lot of the time, like, they want to come off as, like, well off, and they want to show off their home and all this kind of stuff. So they literally choose, like, either a family friend or, like, another relative that they know that has a bigger house, so they can make it seem like they're living in luxury. So then we move on to Kelsey, who lives in Iowa. I thought this date was really cute. I didn't realize that Iowa had wineries. I don't know why. I just was like, I would never go to Iowa and be like, take me to a winery. I guess you wouldn't from Massachusetts either. I just don't know. I was weirded out. Regardless. So they go to Iowa to this winery. Sorry, I can't get
And
over
she
it.
was
It's
like,
so
that's
weird.
one thing we both really love is wine. Okay.
Okay, so maybe you are a little bit of a lush, but that's fine. So they, like, stomp on some grapes, which, like, the texture of that between my toes.
What if your feet are dirty?
I don't think I'd want to.
I wouldn't want to do that.
I don't think I'd want to do that, whatever.
And it's like the microphone is clearly like on the grapes because
And
you're
they're
like,
past it. So they make, ew. So they make some wine, or they squish some grapes, and then they like taste some different types of wine, and then they make like the Peter and Kelsey wine, which is like, I thought was cute. And then they start drinking more wine. Then they go to her house. Her mom is literally her identical twin, I feel like.
They all look kind of exactly the same.
Yeah, so they showed up. Like, it was fine. Like, she tells her sister that she's falling in love or in love with him.
I think in love.
In love. And then her mom pulls Peter aside and is basically like, I don't want you to break my daughter's heart. Like, and he was like, I'm not gonna. All this kind of stuff.
And she tells him that she's in love. I don't think she said that yet. She was like starting to.
Okay.
And he's just like, thanks. Yeah.
Clearly not writing her a list of love things he loves about her.
No, and I feel like her family like was kind of catching that vibe. Everyone in her family was kind of like we're really like, worried.
Yeah, they were like, we really don't want you to break her heart.
Yeah, like she can't handle it. So that's pretty much Kelsey's.
Yeah, hers was like whatever. Those two were like uneventful.
Yep.
Then you go to Madison's. This one really threw me off a little bit. So she's from Auburn, Alabama. Mm-hmm. She went to Auburn for college. So their date was at the Auburn like basketball arena, I guess. Mm-hmm. And they had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. No, that's not the guy's name.
Charles Barkley.
So they had Charles Barkley.
Peter didn't know either. That's so nice.
And then they played basketball, which I was like genuinely impressed with her skills.
She's really good.
Like, but I mean, she went to 2 national champions. So that's cool. Or 2 Final Fours in college. So like she must be good. I thought that was cool. I thought it was a fun date, like really true to who she was and like where she came from.
They just have a lot of fun together.
Yeah.
And like you could tell he was like the most excited to see her of all the girls.
Yeah.
And they just like have a good time.
Yeah.
She brings out the best.
They go back to her place for dinner. I don't know if it was just me, or did her parents look like 12?
Her dad especially.
Her dad had like a Justin Bieber like throwback haircut with like bangs like down to here. Can someone please tell him to get a haircut? Because it's not working. This was the one where they're like, okay, we're gonna do dinner. They sit, they pray, they do this like what we love about Madison, because Madison got the plate. And then they're like, her mom goes, can I steal you? To her. And I'm like, they didn't even have a 1 bite of dinner. Are you hungry? Her and her mother have a talk, and her mom basically is like, have you shared with him like your religious upbringing and background? And she was like, for the most part, yes. Mm-hmm. But not the fact that she's saving herself for marriage.
And that's kind of a big deal.
Especially with the nature of the show, too. I feel like it's so known that once it hits 3 girls, you go to a fantasy suite.
And if they know who Peter is from the last season,
they know that he has not saved himself for marriage. Her dad, this is when her dad is like, do you see yourself in my daughter? Like, where is she ending up? And he was like, well, I am going to say that, like, things are looking good, you know, so.
Yeah, I think this was a huge introduction of just how religious her family is, and they take it very seriously that he's with other women. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of not messing around. Like, they're kind of like, no, you need to tell us right now.
Yeah.
Is it our daughter?
Yeah.
And if not, like, stay away from her.
Yeah. Peter says he loves Madison. He's told... he tells Hannah, or no, he doesn't.
He's starting to fall in love with Hannah.
He doesn't say it to Hannah, though. He just writes her those letters. Kelsey, he doesn't tell, but he's like, things are looking good. And then he tells Madison he loves her.
Yeah.
Great. Moving on. Then we get to Victoria F., and she's in Virginia Beach. And you know what Virginia's for? Lovers. You know the Kenny Chesney song where it's like, Virginia's for lovers, got a bottle, get along.
No.
Met a man wearing a t-shirt said Virginia's for lovers.
Wow.
Yep.
They go to Old-time photos.
What I'm not really sure what the relevance was.
Like, it was just so forced and weird. And
her dog's also there, which is like kind of cute, but like whatever. And then she surprises him with Hunter Hayes. Which honestly I forgot about him, and that's a great, great song. At this concert though, is when I guess one of Peter's exes that he knows that he's like kind of still friends with, she shows up and basically is like, Peter, I just want to warn you. Like, I know Victoria because this girl lives in Virginia Beach now, and she's trouble. Like, basically is like, stay away from her.
And she's like breaking up a lot of relationships, and it turns out that people think that like she's broken up married couples. Not great.
Kind of sketchy, but the only like I guess critique of this part I had is like, so this girl shows up. Is this like out of the blue? Like, you know, like was that stage? I'm not really sure. But they cover her face, like they blur out her face, but they say her first name. Mm-hmm. You know where she's from, and you know she's dated Peter.
Her pictures are already all over the internet. People know who she is.
So I'm like, what was the point of keeping her face a secret? So Peter's obviously like spooked by this. So he shows up to go meet her family. Mm-hmm. Before they go inside, he's like, can I talk to you?
And he like confronts her and is like, this girl told me this, and is it true? And she immediately goes like insane.
She immediately goes into like defensive mode and was like,
yeah, and it's so rude to him.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk it out. What are we gonna say?
I'm just asking for the truth.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore, Peter, because
So you just have given up on this?
you literally just came in here to act like that? Are you kidding me?
And then he goes, excuse me? And she goes,
Excuse you, what?
I was like choked on my water. I was like, what?
gosh.
So she like storms off.
And like yells at the cameras, like, get out of my face. Somehow flips it so that he's chasing her and is like, I'm sorry. Manipulative.
He's like, okay, I'm leaving. So he gets in the car and he leaves. And then immediately after, her family like rushes outside and like is comforting her as she's sobbing.
She shows up at his hotel. She just kind of is like, I don't know why I'm like this. And he's like, I just feel like you don't want me to love you. Mm-hmm. And they don't really progress anywhere.
She's the only one that like isn't fully like, I love you. Like she's kind of more like questioning it. And I think he kind of is into that.
Which is ridiculous at this stage. He's down to the final four. Don't you want someone who loves you? You're about to propose to someone in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Then we get to the rose ceremony. So it's at an airplane hangar, which is kind of cool. First person he calls is Madison. Right? Madison. Hannah Ann, and then Madison. Shocker. Kelsey and Victoria are the two left. Everyone's like, Victoria's going home. Like, it is in the bag. Send this crazy girl home. Then he goes, Victoria.
Sends Kelsey home.
Honestly, she really didn't cry that much. I think it's probably because she was caught so off guard.
They have been perfect the whole time. He's never questioned her. They've never had like a real problem besides just her with the champagne.
Like her with the girls was more so the issue, not her and him ever. They were really good. I guess he's into brunettes.
He just thinks that Victoria is hot.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's shallow.
Then it's Victoria, Madison, and Hannah Ann are left. Mm-hmm.
And we end on a cliffhanger where Madison is like, okay, I'm going to tell him about the whole marriage thing and saving myself.
Yeah.
And she's like, Peter, can I talk to you? And then, boom, credits.
Yeah. A lot of things look like they happen. So Madison obviously tells him she's waiting until marriage. She doesn't think she could stay if he had like hooked up with another girl in the fantasy suites, which like obviously happens. So
yeah, but I'm gonna say in her defense, at that point I feel like you kind of know who you want.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna throw it out there that if he was in love with Madison and wanted to marry her, he could just not do that.
It kind of just depends on the order of which they put the dates. But then you see a lot of like Victoria being crazy about it and like being like, It's so stupid, you know? Like, she's trying to villainize Madison. And I'm like, you can't do that because Madison is so sweet. So stop that. So from that preview, I further think that my theory is correct about what happens in the final episode. My theory being, I think that Madison leaves. I think she finds out that Peter, in fact, has gotten with one of the other girls. I think she's like, you know what? I can't do it. I'm sending myself home.
Mm-hmm. I could totally
But
see
I
it
also
happening.
don't know when, I think Victoria's going home, but I just am not entirely sure the timing of that.
Yeah.
But I think she's going home. I think she's going to self-destruct.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially relating to the Madison stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to be cruel.
Yeah. So I think she's going to self-destruct, but I think Madison's also going to, like, send herself home. Then I think it gets to, like, the day of the engagement. So I guess maybe it's just Hannah Ann. The day of the rose ceremony, or like the final rose, I think that Madison like returns and was like, you know what, I want to be with him. And then that's when Chris Harrison's like,
There's something all of us just found out.
and then her mom's like,
Bring her home. Bring her home to us.
Wow.
that's my guess.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. We'll just cross off our lovely girl Kelsey, who we love
Who
so much.
I literally last week was like, Kelsey's gonna win. I guess I don't understand the show at all. Do you think that she's gonna win?
Yes. I don't think
Really?
they're gonna get engaged though. I think they just end up like dating.
I'm really torn. I don't know who wins.
Go with Hannah Ann because I chose Madison.
Hannah Ann. I think she wins. And I think she goes to jail.
Yeah.
She has a criminal record.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. So yeah, that's about all. People are very mad with Peter, including us too.
Yeah. I'm over him.
And you're over him, but yet we'll be there
But
8 o'clock Monday next week.
But catch us next week.
Right at this
wondering who he's
table.
gonna marry.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
Woo.